Hi everyone, today we'll be doing something a little bit differently. The dev team has shared a great dev blog on their forums on overwatch.blizzard.com, and they're talking about how they were prototyping Illari's abilities, and we finally get an internal look at what the design team is thinking, because who knows what they're doing these days. So let's get started. So this video, we're just going to be going through the dev blog and watching some of the videos together. So I will walk you through it. So here we go. So Illari has taken Overwatch 2 by storm, or rather to the power of 1,000 burning suns. We're incredibly happy to see that players are enjoying her gameplay, personality, and story. To provide a little more depth and insight into how Illari came to who she is today, we on the Overwatch 2 hero design team thought we'd share some of her abilities were created through early prototypes. Heroes can be inspired by many things. Sometimes heroes are made from whatever prototypes of abilities we think are cool or have a positive impact on gameplay. Ana is a great example of this. Parts of her kit were made before her character and story even existed. In Illari's case, we had a strong starting point because we knew we wanted to theme this hero around the sun. The themes were inspired by an internal codename called Solar. Prototyping is a journey through different questions, scenarios, and ideas. The goal is to test out and experiment with new things. We ask questions such as, how does this ability feel in relation to the other abilities? Is the ability making an impact in a match? Are there enough options for counterplay? What does it feel like to land a hit or miss with this ability? So we'd like to offer a little insight into this journey. So let's get straight into it. Now, I've seen it up until this point personally. I've seen this. This is crazy, man. Can you imagine, like, the people that are out there that are saying that support isn't the most broken role and all this type of stuff, right? Imagine, like, one of the first things they designed for her, they admitted one of the earliest prototypes we had was this blinding ability. Imagine support players would get a blind ability. Like, that's crazy. Of course, they didn't put it into the game, but honestly, don't hold your breath on that, because when they brought in the cleanse and the invulnerability effect with Moira all the way back in experimental in Overwatch 1, they told us that people didn't like that and we would probably never see it again. And now we have 𝐒𝐿𝐼. So this blind ability, guys, don't sleep on it, because it might not come today. It might not come this or next year, but at some point, maybe in between or somewhere, they might slide this thing in. Who knows, man? Alec Dawson's ban this team is all over the place. The fact that they even started with this is so silly. So let's watch this together. Let's have a peek at this real quick. So there you go. She would throw like this grenade, it would charge up, and then you would get blinded. So the idea would be that, after she threw this grenade like sun orb, it would explode and blind enemies within its AoE. Now, the only way I can see you counterplaying this is, again, just like in Valorant or Counter-Strike, if I'm not mistaken. When you throw a flash grenade or something like that, if you turn away from it, you'll be able to, either not get flashed or reduce the flash impact time. However, something like this in Overwatch is extremely unnecessary, adds to the visual clutter, and wouldn't be fun for the game at all. The fact that they were thinking stuff like this for supports is honestly really scary, because going forward, whenever we do get new supports or support reworks, you can see that they are thinking more and more about, well, how can we make a support's life easier? Illari's current model, like, she's really good. She has some minor problems here and there, but the fact that this is the type of stuff they're immediately thinking about is scary. I know, Abby, they were thinking about the sun themes and the sun can blind you. I know, but I don't know, man. Stuff like this is scary. Like, thank God this didn't make it into the game. Let's keep moving. Anyways, so we often use models that are already in the game while we're working through prototyping a new ability. That's why Solar's model looks awfully familiar when she's dunking on enemies with the basketball blind. The team experimented with physics of this ability, how it would affect others, blah, blah, blah. In the end, we moved away from the blind because the hidden effectiveness and the frustration caused when played against. Solar didn't feel a noticeable impact using blind, but the person getting blinded felt too much of an impact. We decided that a full screen blind was too much for the type of action flow we're building in Overwatch. So here's something else. However, the mobility of her leap into the air felt very symbolic to her sunrise and was integrated into her finalized ultimate, Captive Sun. Oh my goodness. So this is, like, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first iteration of her ultimate. Honestly, I think something like this would have been cool, where instead of using her gun to do this, like, if she went up and channeled like some power of the sun in her hand and then shot it and then pulled her gun out, it would be a lot more fun. Now this big blind that's on the screen, this would 100% not be fun. Like, look at this. Like, this is crazy, and this affects Illari too. I don't think this is fun for anybody. And then the Sunstruck effect comes online. So in terms of animation, it would have been really cool if you could just hold it in your hand and toss out suns like that. Like I think that fantasy is cooler than shooting it from your gun. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, you know, this flash effect is bad, and it seemed like at first they really wanted these flash effects. We saw it in the one of the abilities, and we see it in the ultimate. So it's really scary, and I'm really happy it didn't make it into the game. Because imagine, man, like with this character in the lobby, you're blinded and she's bursting you down, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's really scary to think about. So prototype, healing abilities and secondary fire healing. Solar's healing abilities went through a lot of ideations and prototypes. One of the first ideas was creating a pockets of healing with a deployable drone. She would throw a drone grenade to allies and the drone would hover over them to heal. Now, to be honest with you, here's the funny thing. I would actually like this. Like when we were discussing the Illari pylon on a live stream and we were there and some time ago with my girlfriend and my best friend, I was like, guys, honestly, it would be really cool if she just tossed these like drones that healed instead, right? And it was for short duration. So it wouldn't be broken because like at the end of the day, like if you think like instead of the turret that just becomes a third body, stays in one place and heals people, this would be a lot more healthy because it's like a temporary heal. So it would be like a more unique Brig heal pack, you know, Brig's heal pack or armor pack, but even though it doesn't give armor, it would be really cool because you basically toss it out and that drone is with the person, gives them a little bit of burst healing, and then comes back to you, and you can just combo it with your right clicks that Illari has now, right? I think that would be a lot more healthier and much more like, you know, dealable than the pylon and the way it is right now, where if you get a good sniper map, Illari's positioning, and especially if the Illari player understands how to position that thing, you know, you're in a lot of trouble. So this is one of those things where I wish we could have seen this, because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, they're developers, and sometimes they may think that something is, you know, not good and it might actually be better. But I like this idea. I would have loved to seen it. Again, it would have been a slightly glorified healing pylon. Like a Brig armor pack, but I think it's cool. Like, it's okay to have reskinned abilities. We have more than enough of that in Overwatch, so getting different versions of them with a slightly more effective kit is always okay. So they were basically saying another is like, for example, one version provided healing to low HP targets, but it was the turret was limited in mobility. Another provided burst healing with the first second to give allies a little bit more flexibility with their placement. There was also a super fun iteration where the drone would automatically track allies. So let's check this out. I think this is the drone tracking the ally. There we go. Yeah, it's like following them and everything. I honestly don't think this would have been that bad. Like if it was just up for like 2-3 seconds, this is a lot. And then it goes on a cooldown, and it's Illari just uses it to combo with her healing. Like I like this idea of comboing abilities together to heal more. Like Ana, you know, and Moira when they tag team their nade or their orbs to increase the healing. I think stuff like that is fun, right? Like when you look at it from some damaged characters being able to do that, why can't we have healing characters that can combo abilities together instead of just I press this button and it does the job for me, and I suppose I could contribute more too, right? So it's just my perspective on that. Anyways, moving on. This type of healing required a ton of management and attention. I'm so sorry. I can't. I'm so sorry. Imagine a support player. Imagine this is them admitting that they have no faith in support players to require a ton of management and attention. God forbid that support players have to manage their resources and divide their attention. God forbid. And I'm saying this as somebody who's been mostly playing support for 2 seasons, because it's a relaxing role, to be honest with you, compared to the state of tank, which is garbage, and DPS, which is cosmetic now. Anyway, so they go on this. I'm sorry. It's really funny when you think about it. It goes on to say, we wanted something more strategic that allowed her to focus more of her time using the solar rifle. Okay, so this is contradictory, because if you want a character to be more strategic, giving them management and attention division is a way to keep a character focused on being strategic, because you have to constantly think, right? That's the way tanks are playing right now. That's the way ignoring Tor, Bastion, and you know some of the other meta picks. That's the way most DPS have to play right now too. They have to think about how they do everything. Ana, Zen, Lucio, Mercy, even they have to, you know, Moira as well, have to manage resources. So their excuse over here is, Yeah, okay, we don't want you to actually use your brain on Illari. We would rather you just have a turret that comes online, does the job for you, and you go like use your DPS rifle. It's literally what they say over here by saying that we want you to focus on using the solar rifle more, just by DPSing, because mostly everybody's using it for DPSing. So they were like, then a eureka moment. Eureka! The light bulb finally lit. They have all this light from this solar hero, but they were so busy blinding themselves that they couldn't see what is good or bad. Anyways, so when we were looking at Storb and Sim turns, we tried a healing turn mechanic with Symmetra during a Cradle experimental card in Feb 2022. And while it had problems with her kit, players did enjoy it. From this, the healing artifact was born. Oh, that's like an oversized soldier, thingy. At the healing field, the soldier was down. Initially, it was a hit scan healing projectile. It evolves to what it is now in order to fulfill combat clarity and visual goals. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So there you go. And it was hit scan. But I don't get it. Like, what's the difference? Like, now the healing is a projectile, so it just takes like a little bit more time to connect, right? I mean, it's the same thing at the end of the day. I guess this one is like, this one would never lose you because it auto locks onto you. But the balancing part about the projectile is that it takes time to reach you. I mean, honestly, it doesn't feel like it takes time to reach you, but whatever. Still, an interesting concept nonetheless. Like, this is basically what the pylon is, like the first iteration of it. The secondary fire also came from a long way from start to finish. The first iteration was a burst heal that could pierce allies, but it was on a hefty cooldown. Wait, this slash animation, isn't this Genji's isn't this Genji's sword projectile from the PvE? Like, let's have a look at this. It is. Wait. Let me get this straight. They had to decide between a boring beam or, okay, even though this would technically be AoE, right? To a certain extent, it could be some low healing, right? Isn't this more satisfying to watch and do? Like imagine like you're firing like these sun bolts or like these like sun, like I don't know, like you can come up with the name for it, but you're firing like these sun projectiles towards your team and it's passing through them and healing all of them, and like you could balance out the numbers and things like that. But from a player perspective, this sounds more fun to do than, oh, I just look at you and hold right click, like, because you'd be messing around with the projectile, right? Look at that. Doesn't that, like, look, the taps on the three sombras, like, that would feel so much more satisfying. Even if this was basically like a Baptiste shift, but with again new visuals, it would still be more fun to do. In fact, this doesn't need to be a cooldown. You could make this the primary way to heal with her, and honestly, it would be really fun. Because again, it's a projectile, so she would have to aim it, time it, people can dodge it, etc., etc. This would be more fun than what we have at the moment. But that's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. And then you could charge it up. You could charge it up, and you could do more healing. I don't know, man. For me, this is more fun because again, this is what I've been talking about, guys. This means the player gets to play more, and something else plays less. Do you know what I mean, right? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why take away player agency for an ability that does it for you? Like, personally, I would have loved this. Like, hope to see this in other characters in the future. We wanted to give her a simple secondary fire to encourage players to support through damage. I can't. This entire blog post is, we cannot trust the majority, not all of you, majority of support players to actually have complexity in the support role. We want everything to be dumbed down and easy for you so you can do whatever you want. They actually admit it. It's so sad. We want to give her a simple secondary fire. Guys, I don't know if the dev team will ever watch this, but this looks more fun to play and encourages you to be a support who can just try to interact with their team more and also take shots at the enemy, but you would actually have a trade-off, right? And whenever you go into the trade-off mode, you could toss up your drones and things like that. It would be so much more fun to play now that I think about it, instead of the pylon and the boring right-click beam that we did get, because pylon and the right-click healing are the most boring things about Illari's kit, right? Her fun is her mobility, as well as her potential to boop somebody off the map, and her ability to just two-shot people and be an amazing DPS. So this, for me, just looks like she would actually be a fun support who could interact with her kit better, with her teammates better, with a more fun and interactive kit. And the developers were like, yeah, no, we don't want that. We want it to be easier. We want it to be simple. We don't want you to feel like you have a downtime or you're sacrificing anything. This is so sad because this just shows us their philosophy when it comes to making these characters. This in my opinion, this could have been cooler. This could have been more fun, more satisfying. But that's just me though. Like, you guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And we wanted to, okay, we read this part. After testing various uptimes and cooldowns, we landed on a simplified secondary that could be used often. Yeah, you're decreasing the downtime and making less opportunities, for the support to be able to be punished. Anyways, solar rifle outfire gives us what we're looking for, with the added benefit of pockets of healing with healing pylon. So it's just like, yeah, we want you to have extremely high healing on the right click, and then we also want you to have something that just does it all for you, so you can go DPS. Because God forbid that you can actually play the game by yourself and have agency over your characters. It's almost like there's a support in the game that everybody loves and is extremely popular called Ana, who already follows this balance philosophy and hero philosophy, and she's by far the most fun support to play, because everything is about her doing something herself. And over here, they were like, oh, well, you can do these things yourself. And then they were like, yeah, no, we don't want players to do things by themselves. We kind of just want the game to play for them. That's so sad, man. It actually looks... Some of the stuff here looks cool. Some of the stuff is silly, but some of these things are... Okay, like, in my opinion, this right click should have made it in, right? The pylon is fine, whatever, I suppose. But this should have made it in. And then the blind should not have made it in. This right click, they could have experimented with. Prototype ultimate ability. There was a great many types of prototype for Illari's ultimate, so we only look at a couple of them with this blog. One of the first ideas we sought was up to 5 enemies near her, give them a debuff we called Solar Flare. It would damage enemies, reveal their location, and increase the damage taken. Oh damn, that's kind of scary when you think about it. Oh god, that's actually terrifying. Actually, I think this is not that satisfying from the Illari player's perspective, because you just throw a debuff and yeah, you can follow up to it, but I think they really wanted that DPS feel for her. So, this is like, we got half of this ultimate, and the other half came from Illari's like current iteration, where she can blow people up once a damage threshold is met, right? While this ultimate was cool to play with, it wasn't that cool to play against. I mean, it's almost the same as the current ult though. The debuff paired with the damage was a little too much, and the chaotic nature of the ultimate was frustrating to play against. Ah, I see. So instead of them taking more damage, they put the damage into Illari. That's good. See, that's what I mean, right? There's more agency in the player than in this ability doing it for you, right? So another iteration riffed off solar flares, but the debuff was only applied to enemies within an AoE. Rather than targeting them automatically, the area would also heal allies. So there was quite a bit of going on in that circle. Oh, okay, so this circle was like a healing circle for your allies and a debuff circle for the enemies. So it was kind of similar to Tree of Life, but it would be more like a Tree of Life that could do a little bit more, basically, right? Unless I'm mistaken, guys. I just woke up. It's like 1 p.m. right now. Like, I'm still waking up, okay? I woke up at 7, but I'm still waking up. Oh, let me play this for you guys. Sorry, my bad. No, full screen as well. So there's the field. You saw the Mercies got the heal bonus, and then the enemy got the damage on them. I think this would have been boring. I think like you want the feeling of satisfaction on characters, and this is one of those things where it's like nano boost, where it's like, okay, I set my team up, hopefully they do something, which is not bad, because Ana's kit is like, she's a sniper, so it's hard to kind of figure out like something to give to a sniper. So it's better to just let them enable others. But honestly, this animation is sick, where she kind of pulls back, and then like, if you guys watch Dragon Ball, doesn't this look like a Final Flash? It legit looks like Final Flash, right? Yeah, look, it's like the pullback with the arms and then Final Flash. It's legit that. I'm not the only one that sees it. We know Overwatch loves their anime reference and they want to do a Dragon Ball crossover. Hey man, maybe we get a highlight intro with that in the future. Calling it now. If I get a highlight intro, hey, if I get that highlight intro right, you never know. Many versions of her ultimate increase the amount of damage she dealt, but we felt that would suit better a damage hero. We want to encourage... Oh, now we know what they're going to do with the next DPS hero, at least. We want to encourage players to support their team by enabling and finishing off opponents, but some of these early ideas were doing a little bit too much damage. We kept revisiting the status effect inspired by the sun, which kept themed to her personality and gameplay. Cactus Sun's status effect keeps the ultimate ability attack oriented while also encouraging team play to get as many detonations as possible. In a way, it's damage enhancement effect with a condition and a delay. Yeah, this is good. Like, this philosophy is good. Some philosophy up there is very question mark. This is good. So finally, we come down to the closing statements, and the closing statement for this video is from Solar to Illari. Taking a hero from prototype to game requires a ton of collaboration and coordination across almost all of Team 4. Okay, but you're not special. Like, everybody in the gaming industry is doing this. It's kind of what you sign up for. Although many prototypes never make it out of pre-production, it's always good to keep them for key learnings. After all, you never know how these abilities may pop back up in the game. No! I predicted what they were going to say! What did I say? What did I say about the Moira thing? That don't believe them when they say that, yeah, no, we might never do this as a thing. I'm telling you, you know that cool slash, this one, the Genji animation, right? They will not bring something like this to the game, because this means the player actually plays the game. They will bring the blind. I'm calling it now. Whenever they do this, they're going to bring the blind. I'm telling you, legit, I'm telling you, the blind is the thing that they're going to bring back, because it's like, oh, it makes the support feel like they can do whatever they want. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to bring back, dog. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. Next support will just blind you, freeze you in place, and then burst you down, and support players will have the audacity to sit there and say, no, but our role is weak. We get flanked. We're the priority. Yeah, when your kit is like this, of course you're the priority. Anyways, our team learned a lot from Illari, who became the last child of the sun. And it's incredible to see the community get to know her and play her in game. Thanks for all your feedback and awesome gameplay. We hope to see, and we hope you continue to have a blast with Illari, the hero design team in Overwatch 2. So that's it. That's going to be it for this video. My final thoughts on this is that this was really informative, really fun. And I hope they do this with more heroes. If not, I would love to see some of the old heroes, like the designs with them. I know the hero design team might be slightly different to what it is now and before, but man, I would love to see what they were thinking with Lifeweaver. I really want to see the disaster that was Lifeweaver's hero production, because nothing on Lifeweaver's kit makes sense or combos well with him, in my opinion at least. Anyways, everybody, that's going to be it for today and today's videos. Before this video, you might see that there's a video about how to get 3,000 credits, or the fact that Overwatch is giving away 3,000 free credits. So do check that out for more info. Tomorrow, I'll be covering how to get free skins, or actually I might do that later today, if I'm not mistaken. And we're also going to be talking about some other topics. So see you then. Again, free ways to support the channel is legitimately just by hitting the like and subscribe button.